Coming up this week on Two Noobs, after 51 days of trial, Diddy found guilty, but not that guilty. Where did the prosecution slip up? We've got the greasy details. Then, two players in two major sports accused days apart of gambling irregularities. I'll wager at least one of them did it. Next, if you have a problem with spotted lanternflies, experts have the answer. You're Batman. And we wrap up with an all-star baseball draft. No cheats on this team. Well, maybe one or two. Start the music. Yes, welcome into episode 248 of Two Noobs Talking. It's not our July 4th edition because we're recording and publishing after. So too bad. Gentlemen, how was your 4th of July? I know John's was boring as hell.
Really?
No,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Didn't even grill.
What'd you do?
Can you believe that?
What'd you do, man?
Nothing, just hung out all day.
Just hung out all day? Okay.
Just a day where I didn't have to do anything, so
That's
I'm
nice.
happy about that.
I shot off fireworks.
Nice.
And successfully.
Show us your fingers.
All 10.
Okay.
All 10.
right.
They're still here. I'm not
Okay.
that stupid.
Well, you're shooting off fireworks to begin with. That's not a good start.
I
Yeah.
don't want you playing defensive end for the Giants.
Yeah.
Hand.
Yeah.
I got my cast on. I'm good. It's a club now.
It's a club now. Wow.
I have a confession. I am now the owner of an electric leaf blower.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Bastard.
Actually, I got to tell you, it's pretty sweet.
Mm.
The reason I got it was I occasionally have the need to clean off the patio or clean off the driveway,
Nice.
clean some things up. I have too much. You guys have seen how much land I have. I have too much to do heavy duty like leaf cleanups.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to hire a landscaper to do that. But
Mm.
for quick and easy jobs, you know, the one real negative on a battery powered piece of lawn equipment is how long it lasts.
Mm.
And I don't need it to last more than 10, 15 minutes. So
Oh, there you go.
here we go. It's
No,
pretty sweet.
That's what they're designed for, is very simple tasks. It's not, you're not going to go blow the entire neighborhood.
Right.
And
Right.
like, oh, I can do this with my magic. No, you're going to need something loud and obnoxious. And
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Speaking of loud and obnoxious, today as we record July 5th, there is a concert going on across the pond as a farewell
Oh no.
to Ozzy Osbourne
What? No.
and Black Sabbath. Yes, it is the final show of Ozzy and Black Sabbath.
Is that right? Oh my gosh.
It is indeed in Birmingham, England, and the lineup is unbelievable.
Mm.
I have the lineup right here. You've got early morning, you had Mastodon, Anthrax, Alice in Chains was in there.
Wow.
Gojira, Pantera, Tool, Slayer, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and then finally Ozzy and Black Sabbath take the stage at the end.
Mm.
But they also had a couple super groups in there. I saw Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins with Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine covering Judas Priest's "Breaking the Law."
Wow.
That
Oh
sounds like-
wow.
that sounds like total fun.
Absolutely. I
Two
mean,
of my
you
favorite people doing one of my favorite songs.
right.
Right. Wow.
I saw the lead singer of Disturbed, Living Color guitarist. It's amazing.
A little bit of everything there. Yeah.
Hoping I can catch some of that later on.
Seriously.
I've already
I hope
seen.
so.
Yeah, I've seen some clips on Facebook already. This is really good stuff.
You just put my favorite lead singer of all time, David Draymond from Disturbed. I'm definitely gonna search that out.
Mm.
He did. I believe.
Awesome.
Mm.
I believe they covered "Bark at the Moon."
Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
can handle that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
What a concert to go to. Can you imagine if you had tickets to that? Oh my
No,
gosh.
thank you. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. 40,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I saw Jason Momoa is hosting it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And he was like, he said he would have just been in the crowd. But since he's being asked to host it, he's like, well, yeah, if that guarantees me a spot, I'll absolutely do it.
Lars, I was just telling Steve before, Lars said the exact same thing. They were like, what got you performing here? I said, because I probably would have went there anyway.
Right.
Go figure.
It's a no-brainer.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yep. So there, yeah, I'm stuck here with you two. Well,
I'm sorry. What are you gonna do?
Not that I was gonna fly over to Birmingham, England to do that. But,
oh wow.
That would have been cool. That would have been cool.
Oh yeah.
If we would have known about this 6 months ago, did an episode there.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine?
Oh, we gotta do like an on location episode one of these days. That'd be fun.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool. We did.
Not my location. I mean, like a destination.
Oh.
Like all three of us are not in the same place.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder how we. Yeah. Maybe
we all just have to go on work trips at the same time and deal with it.
That's an idea. Yeah, let us know in the comments below where you'd like to go. No Russia, no Iraq, no Afghanistan, no.
In this country.
Yeah.
In this country
right here. Yeah.
Excluding Alaska and Hawaii. Yeah. Well, maybe not Hawaii.
Well, maybe not Hawaii. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
All right, let me introduce some people. On the program over here, we have Just Ask Me About Our Big Savings, John Tracy. That's right.
There you go.
Over here, we've got Meet and Greet, Matt Craig.
There you go.
We got the Walmart still going here.
Yeah.
And I in the middle, I am Stop Putting That in Your Mouth, Steve Murray. And I've got another bone to pick, boys, about my son.
Oh no, not again.
So yesterday, July 4th, where I got to make room in the refrigerator because I'm making lemonade and putting extra filtered water in for when parents arrive. And there are all these sports drinks on the one shelf in the refrigerator. I was like, all right, pick one up. I was like, okay, this is half drunk. I pick another one up. All right, this one is half drank. All these half drank bottles. And I'm like, what? I look at him. Why don't you finish one before you open the next one? He's like, well, because I don't know, I had him consolidate bottles.
Yes. You should have made it should be an infinity drink and then he has lots of people do that with hot sauces. Next time that happens, Keith, that is your punishment.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Mix them all together and drink them.
So
they were all the same drink though, so it wasn't like,
So we've had half drunk bottles. We've had something missing in the pantry, right? We've had like completed
an empty box of,
in the pantry.
Of honey
then he recouped himself with leaving you one.
Exactly. And then he had the one left over. So I don't know. I think there's a grounding somewhere in there.
He is treading deep water here because he also was fast asleep while my daughter was outside helping me with my electric leaf blower to clean up the driveway.
Oh, that's not good.
So,
yeah.
You're gonna have to apply for a different form for your man card. While your sister is helping, that's longer.
And I can already hear the excuses now. Well, I mean, Dad has a landscaping company he hires. What do I need to get up for? That's no excuse. You gotta get up out of bed, right?
It would help if he would go to bed before like 1 a.m. I don't understand.
We've all been there. We've all done that. That kind of
thing. But every single night is. No, I need my.
Sometimes you need to look at 10 p.m.
It's okay.
There's nothing good gonna happen in the next day.
It's time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this: at least at 1 a.m. he's in the house, so it's not like he's out causing trouble.
Very
true. Because I was at his age, I was never. You know where the hell I was. I don't even think they cared.
I can verify that.
Times were safe.
Times were cared, so it didn't matter.
Times were also much safer back then too.
Oh yeah.
I was also a lot crazier back then. You weren't kidnapping me.
No,
that's true. Yeah.
If I didn't know John, I wouldn't approach within 100 feet of him.
Exactly.
Then or now.
I have not calmed down in my unapproachableness.
Oh, there you go.
True.
There you go.
Very true. All right. We're moving to the Dubby Energy Fun Fact brought to you by Dubby Energy Drinks. Visit them at their website, dubby.gg, or download the phone to your app. If you use our promo code, Two Noobs Talking, that's Noobs Talking, you get 10% off your order. Hey, 4th of July weekend, but you can't get to the beach?
Yeah. I did go to the beach. Yeah.
I didn't go to the beach either.
Oh.
All right, well, tough tits. But you can pretend with Dubby's Beach and Peach blend. They've taken white peach and blended in some mango at the perfect ratio to create an extremely unique and sweet flavor. If you love mango or peach, this is a must try. You get $4 off a $40 bundle with our promo code.
There you go.
All right. Which one of you fools has the fun fact?
I do.
Matt.
I do. I wanted to kind of do a little show and tell. We'll have a picture up on screen. But gentlemen, I hold in my possession a fully completed 1829 flintlock rifle that my father and a buddy of his actually restored for me.
Made completely out of Legos.
Made completely out of walnut wood and iron, not Legos. That would have been hilarious if it was. So it is fully functioning. This goes all the way back like that.
Beautiful.
And pull the trigger. Like
Bang.
that.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel bad for your neighbor.
Yeah. So this
Right.
thing will be fully mounted, and it was a highlight. This is a birthday present, actually. It was a little bit early, but was really happy to receive it yesterday. So there you go.
Nice.
What a great way to celebrate July 4th with a flintlock rifle, right?
Yeah, we're playing with weapons now on the program.
There you go.
I didn't hear a fun fact in there anywhere.
That was the
but,
fun. Well, okay, the fun fact was that that flintlock rifle was made in Valley Forge in 1829 by a guy by the name of W.L. Evans. I think it was William Evans. I'm not sure, but just a little north of Valley Forge, he had basically blacksmithing shop, and he made, or gunsmithing shop, I should say, and he made close to 10,000 muskets of this variety for the United States military just after the War of 1812. So I think he had the contract signed from 1819, and he just mass-produced, all by hand, mass-produced all of these muskets, maybe about 5 minutes north of where I'm living right now. So it's really cool, and just north of the park. So really cool, that kind of a deal. Yeah.
All right, way to pull that one out of your ear.
Of course. Yeah, exactly.
Is
Now all
that
you
the
need is to
same-
pay that so I can poke you with it. Yeah, that kind of deal.
Is that the same model that the Predators have in Predator 2 when Danny Glover kills the one and they're like, here, take it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't remember.
Probably not, because I think that was a 1700s model.
Yeah. Yeah, 1829 was the date of it. So there you go.
Ever used in battle?
I don't think so. I think probably more for display. But I bought it off a guy, and I have to ask him like where he got it, and then maybe we could trace it down the road. How that was
Chain of custody.
chain of custody. There must have been something within the family or something along those lines. I would love to know more, but I will find that out and share with that on the program once I do.
All right.
That's your W Energy Drink Fun Fact of the Week.
Tough tits. All right.
There you go.
The over 40 is with me. I've got false advertising for you today, gentlemen. And I come with show and tell. just as Matt. All right. So yesterday being July 4th, my wife thought it would be a nice idea, since we don't have a pool anymore, to get the kids a pool they could just lounge around in because it was hot. Her parents paid for it, and it's an inflatable pool. This is what was purchased.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
10 people.
So if you 10 people, yeah, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this first: the dimensions shown here on the left
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
of 145 inches long by 74 inches wide by 22 inches high, those are accurate.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely accurate.
Okay.
However, I now show you a picture of me next to said pool.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yep.
Something's not right here.
Go back to the page. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. Fascinating. Okay, we'll go back.
This woman here is swimming.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I have one question though. Just one question. What are those two dudes doing in the background?
Oh, these two guys here?
That looks a little intimate to me.
Yeah, I know, right?
How you doing, pal? Get away from me. Right?
But if
Deep into my eyes.
if this image is to be believed, these guys, though, from roughly, let's say, their belly button to the top of their head,
Yeah.
is way shorter than 2 feet.
Two couples with 4 kids. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can tell you, with both of my kids messing around with swimmy floats like this circular one here,
Yeah.
Yep.
you have enough room for about 2 of these in this.
10 people.
10
It's
people.
An oversized bathtub is all that is.
Exactly.
Wow.
And here's another picture of me standing next to it. Doesn't even come all the way up to my knee.
Knee high. I mean, that's pretty
It's
good.
like something you buy if you need to give your dog or cat a bath.
Right.
You don't want to do it inside.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so my kids had a fun time in it. They were in there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, but
Oh.
it was hot. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was 2 of them.
cool. There was 2 of them. Exactly.
Now all you need is 8 more, and you'd have a fun time in there.
I know. I mean, maybe you could get 10 people together like this if you kind of like bought one and then put another one here and another one down here.
Yeah.
You put like 4 of these together. Maybe you could fit 10 people in them comfortably.
Yeah.
2 is about it. This is classic Photoshop here, people.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
That's all it is. Yeah, that's all it is.
they took pictures of people in a regular pool and
yeah.
fit them into this.
Oh yeah.
And fit the water line around it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that is the over 40 rant, because my God, I didn't know about that when we brought the pool out, and I'm like, oh, because I had seen a pool, like my parents had one of those types before, so I was like, oh, this is just normal. But then my wife starts talking about like, yeah, this isn't as big as I thought it was gonna be. Like, what do you mean? It's pretty big. It's bigger than a lot of the other ones I've seen.
Yeah.
And then she showed me the picture. We were at the fireworks last night. She goes, this is the online picture for what we got. And I'm looking at it like, what in the bloody hell?
I didn't buy a full-size pool.
How do they get away with this? Good
I
Lord.
wish I knew. Oh my gosh. Awful.
And I pointed out that the dimensions listed were correct, so you can't really complain about that. But at the same time,
Unfortunately, you had 10 midgets.
That's the game. They know that they have your attention span isn't there, so they can throw a cute little picture up, tell you the truth, you're still gonna buy it anyway, and they're just gonna bitch about it online. They're just counting their money over there. It doesn't.
well, that's the really funny part. Was like then I said, oh, we got to look at the reviews because they got to be complaining about this. But all the negative reviews were, this doesn't stay inflated.
Oh, interesting.
Nobody has anything to say about the false advertising that's blatantly going on. Nobody's mad that I bought a pool to fit 10 people and I get 2. Like,
Nobody has 10 friends at this point.
probably. All right. Well, speaking of friends, we're going to move on to topic 1. John promised not to talk about it, but hey, we can't talk about AI for another quarter of the year, so we're going to the Diddy trial.
Oh
no. Yeah.
Well,
51 days this thing took.
Oh.
And after that length of time, Sean Diddy Combs was found not guilty of the most serious charges against him: racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Racketeering conspiracy, sometimes called a RICO charge, doesn't refer to a specific crime. Rather, it involves people engaging in an illegal scheme, and the charge is difficult to prove. One CNN legal analyst said, when you look at the issue of RICO and racketeering, what you generally look at are mob bosses who have these underbosses who are furthering a criminal enterprise. In Combs' case, Prosecutors claimed he and members of his inner circle had engaged in crimes involving kidnapping, arson, forced labor, bribery, and sex trafficking, among others. For a conviction, jurors would have needed to find Combs and at least one other person had agreed to commit at least 2 relevant acts within a 10-year window. But jurors never heard any direct testimony from many of the people who prosecutors claimed participated. That's unusual for a racketeering trial, the CNN analyst said. And then we had the legal experts say the prosecution may have overcharged Combs in this regard. I think this racketeering charge was an overcharge from the start. If you try to show racketeering as a prosecutor, you have to show there was an organized criminal enterprise, that there was some structure to this, that there was a criminal operation that was ongoing and committed multiple crimes. They just did not have the proof. Could they prove Sean Combs was a horrible human being, physically abusive, engaged in domestic violence? Yes, yes, and yes. But none of those are racketeering. Prosecutors also had charged Combs with 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, one related to his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and one related to another ex-girlfriend who testified under the pseudonym Jane. At the end of the day, the jury had to be convinced that coercion was happening within the dynamic of that relationship. When you look at sex trafficking, you're not looking at a long-term relationship generally of 11 years as it related to Cassie Ventura or 3 years as it related to Jane. Even though Combs was convicted on 2 less serious counts, the defense won this case. John, are you disappointed?
I don't really actually care, but a really good work by the legal analyst of CNN. I didn't know they hired people that were smart.
Only when it has nothing to do with politics, but
exactly.
you know.
No, but he's absolutely right. Did they overcharge him? Probably. Were they trying to hopefully get him to flip and he didn't? This is what money does. Like, obviously, he was going to get off on something. He's extremely rich, and they're extremely rich people around him. So, who's to say his kids, who are adults now, didn't just go around and be like, I can take care of you. I can take care of you. You don't have to talk. You don't have to talk. You don't have, easy. Like, this is what money does. And I think they went after him thinking that they had a case against him that would blow a bunch of things open. I don't think they did enough research on who he is and how long he's been doing shit like this. I think the prosecution fumbled on knowing their enemy going into this, and I think it blew up in their face. Yeah, that's just my outside perspective.
So you think the more major charges were just to put pressure on him to start naming names and
because if you could get a couple people, then you could get him with Rico on the back end, because you could write out the conspiracy later. They've done that to every mob boss they've ever done. They put pressure, and then finally you get 1 or 2 that crack. You could be, I can put A, B, and C together, and now look, I have a case.
There you go. Yeah. Interesting in regards to the 3rd and 5th counts, because the lesser of all the 5 counts, guys, has a maximum potential sentence of 10 years. So it's interesting that that's the lesser. It's almost like the maximum he could be sentenced would be a decade in prison. I don't see that happening. Although I do think he should be sentenced to the maximum.
Oh, he's a scumbag.
Yeah. No question about it. Yeah. Because it was pretty evident. I mean, you saw any of the videos from the hotels and how he was treating Cassie Ventura. It was it was like, oh God, this guy's like, what are you doing? What on earth are you even doing? It's really awful.
Piece of shit.
Racketeering, though, interesting that was the first count. I would agree. I think it was a little bit of a stretch to go there, and it's interesting that the legal, and I'll go to our legal expert on this, but racketeering is the most difficult to prove in all of this. Doesn't refer to a specific crime, rather it involves people engaging in a legal scheme. And I can understand like how difficult that can be to ultimately prove. You're trying to prove essentially someone's motives that they're engaging in this type of behavior. And as much as we like to believe that we know everyone's heart, we have an idea. We really don't know. We really have any idea, and people can just lie, or they can do all kinds of things, or they could actually be telling the truth here. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a scumbag, John, like you. I mean, the guy needs some serious help. I mean, and he's been known to do all these wild parties, and it's like I mean, that's never going to stop. This is like, okay, he essentially gets away with it, quote unquote. Right? I mean, but he's going to go right back to what he's been doing before. Someone else is going to try, and someone else on the female side is going, I could try and change him. No, you're not going to try and change this guy.
That's what someone said very close to him. I forget what there was a report that came out. This was weeks ago. You're absolutely right. When he was arrested at the hotel, that's exactly what he was doing. He knew the feds were coming for him, and all he was doing was just organizing another party.
Yeah.
But he is going to go to jail, and he is 55 years old. So it's not like,
yeah, I could see
time's going to catch up with him eventually. It's not like he didn't get away with this scot-free.
Yeah.
And also, they can, Steve, if I'm correct, that RICO charge can come back up again, right?
Well,
if they could prove it later on.
Well, it would have to be tied to a different crime at this point.
Yeah,
it would have to be something either that they didn't bring up before.
But this one could be linked in, correct? Because they can kind of say
I'm not sure how double jeopardy would play in this circumstance. It's easier with a straightforward, like a murder charge. You get acquitted of murder. There's one murder. You can't ever be tried for that murder again. You can only be tried for murder if you do it again.
Yeah.
In this case, you're talking about it's a conspiracy. I would think double jeopardy applies to conspiracy to commit the crimes that were alleged in this particular case. So I don't think he could be, if you're going to take, for example, what's her face, Vanessa. If there was something about kidnapping her and that was the conspiracy, I don't think you could bring it back for him for a trial for that. But if you discovered something else that had occurred previously that you were unaware of, and you could tie conspiracy to that, yes, I think he could be brought up on that charge again. But other than that, you're going to have to find something new. And who knows, maybe he'll ship somebody in jail.
He might sing after 5 years. It might get really boring in there.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm tending to agree with you. I think the prosecution sounds like they were overreaching. I think they watched Dark Knight too many times. Oh, Rico.
Yeah, right.
We'll get him on Rico.
Go, yeah.
I don't know what that means. And then he looks at him, I know exactly what that means.
Right, because I've been doing it.
Wink.
I would tend to think people, if Matt's right and he's going to continue to try to throw these parties, I would think more people would try to stay away from them now. At this point, having seen what has transpired.
Yeah, one would think, but give it 2, 3, 4 months from now, he throws one. You never know.
He's gonna go to jail. Like he has to. He has to go to jail.
Yeah.
That he is convicted. So like there isn't. Like, he's not getting off of Scott.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's
the sentencing hasn't happened as of this, so we don't know exactly how long he's gonna go. But
yeah, we'll see.
Well, the prosecution botched this one.
Oh yeah.
And now baby oil companies are going to suffer. That's just the way it is. Totally unrelated, but Philadelphia's getting a WNBA team.
Woo!
Oh, that wasn't a joke. Sorry.
No.
No, I can't wait to find out what their name is.
What would you name it if you had to name it real quick?
The best one I saw online on Twitter was the 76 Hers. I just thought it was fucking hilarious.
That's pretty good. I would. I don't think you could name it the Wings because that's after the lacrosse team.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what you would name it. Let us know in the comments below what you would name the Philadelphia WNBA team when that comes out in, what is it, 2030, I think?
Yeah. Yeah, 2030.
Yes.
It's been a while. It's going to be a while. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I saw Liberty Bells.
Yeah.
BELLES.
Okay, wait, because that's a little southern hit. I don't think it would fit in Philly very well.
Little on the nose, yeah.
If that was
Little
like,
on the
yeah,
nose.
if that was Nebraska, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as long as they don't take Angel Reese in the expansion draft, it'll be fine. Oh, but here, this is how Toronto Maple Leaf fans would act if this was them. Oh man, I hope they take Caitlin Clark in the expansion draft because you know she won't be protected. We're signing Connor McDavid. Oh, keep dreaming, Leaf fans.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. All right, we're going to stick with sports here on topic 2. Some gambling interesting things happened last week.
Yeah.
We'll start with no article for this, but Cleveland Guardian pitcher Luis Ortiz is currently under investigation by Major League Baseball after a betting integrity firm flagged, get this, a pair of pitches that received unusual gambling activity. He's been placed on non-disciplinary paid leave through July 17th, which can be extended if needed. So according to the alert, Ortiz's first pitches in select innings, this is referring to action on his first pitches in select innings to be a ball or a hit batsman in 2 games. June 15th against Seattle and June 27th against the Cardinals. In the bottom of the second inning against the Mariners and the top of the third against the Cardinals, he threw a first pitch slider that was well outside the strike zone.
Interesting.
This comes on the heel in NBA news of Detroit Pistons guard Malik Beasley being investigated for allegations of gambling related to prop bets in the NBA. This comes from the 23-24 season when Beasley played for the Milwaukee Bucks. At least one prominent sports book detected unusually heavy betting interest on Beasley's statistics beginning around January 2024. A gambling industry source pointed to a game between the Bucks and the Trailblazers on January 31st. The odds on Beasley recording fewer than 2.5 rebounds moved significantly at sports books before the game, shortening from around plus 120 to around minus 250, whatever that means, due to a surge of action on the under. Beasley finished with 6 rebounds, and the bets were deemed unusual lost. So, Matt, what's the over-under that one of these two is actually doing something illicit?
Yeah, I think the over-under is 1, and I would say it's on the over on that. My first question in regards to the MLB pitcher for Rob Manfred, if you're being consistent, then since the integrity of the game is now into question, does that mean that he is ineligible for the Hall of Fame for his entire life? And then when he dies, does he get instated into the Hall? Or does he get what are we doing here with that?
Does Luis Ortiz have Hall of Fame statistics?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
This is the first I'm ever hearing of this guy.
Let's pull it up here. I'll say Luis.
But I get your point.
Yeah, it's kind of like, there's a Luis Ortiz Cuban boxer. How about that? Let's see if there's an
He's
image.
far more talented than this guy.
Career through 2024, he is 0-2 with a 4.76 ERA and 25 Ks.
Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about the Hall of Fame.
I don't think he'll be on the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's kind of bounced around a little bit too. He actually was with us last year, believe it or not.
That Luis Ortiz?
Luis Ortiz, yeah. I believe that. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Because he's with Cleveland now, right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Correct.
Oh, wait a minute. In New York. That's not right.
Are you looking at the wrong guy?
I'm looking at the wrong guy. Gosh darn it. Oh.
Right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, looking. Gosh darn it. That was Mets. There's 2 Luis Ortizes. Luis Ortiz.
I kind of get that Luis Ortiz is probably like a Hispanic John Smith.
That's an extreme.
Oh, goodness. Here we go. unpaid leave, 26 years old. Yeah, talk about the question, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. He opened the season in Cleveland's rotation with a 4.36 ERA over 88 and 2/3 innings in 2025. In 16 starts, he's 4-9.
Okay, so yeah, again, I'm not worried about the Hall of Fame.
No,
but,
not worried at Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But I mean,
it's not
this
good.
is over 2 pitches.
I mean, to be able to be that scientific and to call into question those, and you look at the highlights, and they are clearly not even close to the plate. Not even close.
Mhm.
They're like in the dirt, or they're way outside against a right-handed batter. I mean, it was not even close.
It's not like they're digging deep though, because
No.
those 2 pitches are exactly reflective of the unusual betting on those 2 pitches. So, I mean, it's Stevie Wonder's like, that dude's guilty. Because the way that it was read, the way that I read it while you were reading it, is exactly that. Is they're looking at those 2 pitches where the prop bet is so high, unusually high, because nobody bets on this guy ever, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom. But my problem, even before this with baseball, is get the fucking betting off your screen if you actually care. I'm so tired of hearing Tom McCarthy talk about the over-under of whatever the fuck he's talking about. You know John Kruk is actually betting while he's... If you know anything about the 93 Phillies, they were gambling all the time.
But your applause there, Johnny, that was absolutely spot on.
You're taking a stand, but you're taking millions and billions of dollars off of these sport books and all this DraftKings and whatever the hell else they're doing. If you want to actually be serious about keeping betting out of the game, stop shoving it down everybody's throat. And shockingly, it'll probably go away, because this dude probably makes league minimum. And probably doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I got like 2 years in, and maybe 3 years left, because the average career of a guy that isn't good isn't long.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
you're only in it for 5 years, and that's about it.
You're not giving them any. You have no real union, and everything sucks after they get out of the league anyway. So why wouldn't they fucking take advantage of it?
Yeah. Good point.
We're not talking about major players. We're talking about backups.
Your point, though, John, of like being plastered all over the place gambling, like it's everywhere, and it's something I know we've talked about before. I know in Men Orange and Black we've talked about it, Steve, and it's everywhere. It's like, and it's annoying as hell, because I don't want to know what the over under is of my Flyers. You know, if they score the first goal or not. I want to know if they're going to win. That's what I'm there for. I need to relax. I don't need to put a side bet on whether or not the Flyers are going to score a goal the next 5 minutes.
I'm all for gambling. I don't want that to be like I'm anti-gambling. I have no problem with gambling. If you want to take your hard-earned money and you want to gamble on a sporting event, keep it to your fucking self. Like, why is it being promoted to everybody?
Yeah.
Because I'm not gambling on it, but if I'm watching a game with someone that's gambling on it, they know, first of all, the last thing I want to know is if you're gambling on it or not, because I don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't need you throwing a hissy fit because you just lost a ton of money because it was a strike instead of a ball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that's part of what pisses me off here is, like, we're talking about, why are you betting on whether the first pitch to a batter is a ball or not?
I mean,
like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I get, all right, bet on whether the team's going to win or lose. Bet on whether somebody's going to get 10 strikeouts or not. Okay, fine. And I'm kind of with you, too. It's gambling being legal. Okay, fine, whatever.
Have fun.
I'm not going to do it, but if you're going to do it, go ahead. I'm glad it's legal. It's actually probably good that it's legal, because you can catch shit like this.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Legitimate companies that are doing this
there's more
can
data.
figure this out. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
But to Matt's point, this should be like when you're watching SpongeBob on TV, they don't advertise SpongeBob toys. You don't want to know why?
Because you're watching SpongeBob.
Yeah.
It should be the same thing, a game. Have it in your pregame, have it on your special betting, gambling pre-games, and if you want to do something kind of contemporaneous with the game, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But don't have Jim Jackson reciting the money line. Like I don't even
Yeah.
understand those numbers. I don't care, and it pisses me off because, like Matt says, I just wanted the Flyers to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't care what the odds are. I just want them to win.
Oh yeah.
Get it? Like you're absolutely right, Steve. Like if they did it in the pregame, postgame, would not bother me. If
Because I
they
don't watch
did
them.
it-
So
Exactly. No, but it wouldn't even bother. If I do watch it, it wouldn't even bother me. Because the NFL has been doing that in the pregame forever, and it doesn't. I'm waiting for the Eagles game to come on, and I'm listening to it. It doesn't bother me because I don't care about that. So I'm not listening to what you're saying when you're like, oh, well, the line's shifted. Like, I'm waiting for the game. Okay, the game's on. But the NFL doesn't do it as far as I know. They're really not throwing it up on the screen as much as they are in baseball, basketball, and hockey.
It's pretty close, but I
don't really feel like it's a lot. Like they don't do it as much as those.
Yeah. Yeah, it's close. I would think it's everywhere across all four major sports, I would argue. But the frequency, I think, is more prevalent in basketball, more prevalent in baseball, because you got multiple opportunities for commercial breaks.
There are easier ways to put it out there, yeah.
And there are easier ways to put it out there. Football, I think, is like it's getting close because it's like they're trying to figure out over-under, but I did notice, like, when the Eagles were playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, the betting lines were definitely not shown. I didn't see that many, like, promotions.
Which is hilarious because it's the most betted on game
Right.
of the
Right.
horse racing and Super Bowl. Like the Kentucky Derby and the Super Bowl are 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And you would think that, you're right. You would think that the Super Bowl, there would be money prop bets all over the place, but I didn't see as many.
Maybe because the Eagles were whooping the shit out of them. Too happy to.
That might be. And it's like.
Because remember, they were kicking the Chiefs' ass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Up and down the field.
Yes.
It was
a
fantastic.
little hard to. It's a little hard to bet the Chiefs when they're down 34-6. So it's that's
A little
what it
bit.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this though: how do we stop players from doing this kind of stuff?
Well, I do know that it's posted outside of every sort of, I think it's outside of every clubhouse. There's a sign that says you are not to participate in any sort of gambling activity. But I think that only applies within the clubhouse. Now, if it's outside the clubhouse, that might be a totally different story. Does that mean, though, that was he doing this on the side prior to going in to his clubhouse? I don't know. I don't know how you would police something like that.
Well, and he's betting on something he controls, so he needs to be thrown out.
You would think, yeah.
Well, it doesn't say he's
was,
betting on
but
it
yeah,
though.
I mean,
That's
but-
you gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't been convicted or
cousin-
whatever investigation.
But if my cousin's sister brother is raking in $300,000 on my pitch,
Understood.
Yeah. Yep. Makes sense.
obviously
To
you
agree
can't
with
get
you.
Rico. Obviously, you can't get Rico, as we've seen in
Yes.
but you can get guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
This is things that you can control.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I shouldn't say the Black Sox threw games in
Mhm.
1919 World Series, but
Mhm.
it's a little harder to throw a game versus individually you achieving or not
Yes.
a particular statistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking the other day, like, what if you just and you only do over, right? So like you can't underachieve to win the bet. You
Mhm.
have to
You would
achieve
have to
this.
perform. You'd have to perform better to hit.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But at that point, that could also swing the other way too. Like, you.
Well, you'll if it's basketball, you'll pass less because you're trying to
Right.
score more points.
Yep.
Right.
You might go against the coach's.
Mhm.
There's an argument for both sides, but it's just not good to have in. If it's just regular people that are betting,
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with it.
Mhm.
I also have no problem with NBA players betting on NFL or betting on the NHL because they have no control of it. It's just
Oh yeah.
you can't bet on your You can't bet on something that you have inside knowledge on.
Right. Where you can affect the outcome
Like
of
if they
the game.
had gambling where I could gamble on gas prices, that's unfair because I have a literal like I know I have way more information than Matt would.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, way more information. That would be illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that would be frowned upon. But
It's insider trading,
yeah,
essentially.
but if Matt's betting on gas prices, you know, like goes to what do you go to the gas station once a month? Like,
Yeah, or try to. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's I don't have a problem with the gambling per se. Like I don't care if LeBron James is betting on NFL games. I do not care. It doesn't faze me at all. The two things I have a problem with are like this guy, Luis Ortiz. Literally, the bet went up off of 2 pitches. First of all, why are we betting on pitches? Second of all, I think if they weren't cramming it down everybody's throat, that idea wouldn't come up. Because what if it isn't his brother or his sister or his uncle, whoever? Maybe he owes a favor to somebody, and that's who, you owe a favor to someone because maybe they got you where you are, and then they could lean on you a little bit. And that's what worries me about being able, being a part of that. I think this system that they're talking about that flagged this one on him, I think Major League Baseball needs to put more money into that. They need to take their betting money that they're putting on TV and put more money into that system so they can catch it more frequently and maybe make examples of people because it's the only way you're going to
make example. I think that's found to have engaged in this kind of stuff, but to throw the book at him.
Yeah.
You know, the big money stars outside of Shohei Ohtani may not be participating on the league minimum and that kind of stuff. They're going to have more incentive because like, well, I'm only going to be here a little while. I need to make as much money as I can. And if I could control some betting and make some money on the side, I'll do it. You gotta show them, hey, you do that. I don't think you have any other choice.
Right.
So last night at the fireworks, there was a drone hovering.
Yeah.
It was very annoying. It was up like where the fireworks were exploding. My son and I were praying that one of the fireworks was going to hit the drone.
Oh,
Like, hit the drone. Hit the drone. Yeah. It was like such a narcissist, Lex Luger, to be flying a drone in front of everybody.
That's one.
It has. If you buy a good enough one, you can zoom in on your cell phone. Stupid. You don't have to fly it among.
I had, speaking of fireworks, I have my annual one with the family, and this is the first time I had done aerials in a while, and so I got this assortment, and I drove up to Lansdale to get it, got it back. It was really cheap. It was like $80, and it was like over 100 of these things, and they're smaller variety. So I'm opening up the package, and I get these looks going like, "What are you doing?" You know, it's like you see like rockets here, rockets there, shoots off of here, and it's like, are you trying to set fire to the house? I'm like, no, not trying to set fire to the house, but I'm crossing my fingers like this, kind of going, I really hope it doesn't set fire to the house.
Remind me never to 4th of July with Matt.
I gave up on the 4th of July when me and my brother bought a bunch of fireworks from the Acme right down the street from my parents' house, and then the cop showed up and said that it was illegal to set them off.
No kidding. Oh.
And they're like, but it was legal to purchase them right down the street.
You can purchase them to look at them on the shelf. You mount them in your living room.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you want to burn your house down,
Yeah.
If you want to burn your house down, you should visit our website, twonoobstalking.wordpress.com. There you will find lots of assortment of illegal fire. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll find out all episodes that you can watch online. View us. Yes.
Yes.
Not doing illegal things.
And not setting them off like a narcissist.
Lex Luger,
Gosh,
right, exactly.
All right.
Right. I mean, it would be a conspiracy at that point. You might be charged with racketeering. However, you can watch us. And if you want to see something early, like the early days of the Noobs,
way back,
pre-episode 140 even, it'll take you to our YouTube channel where you should like, share, and subscribe because we like to hear from you, the viewer, about how we are doing and what you want us to talk about. We'll ignore you, but we'll talk about stuff anyway. And maybe we'll bring up your comment, like last week. The most bizarre comment I think I've ever seen.
That's hilarious.
Non sequitur. Back to the website. There is a box there. You put your email address in there. You hit the subscribe button. You will be notified every time I remember to upload a new episode on the website. All right.
All right.
Topic 3.
Yeah.
Spotted lanternflies. Remember, they're supposed to be a problem?
Not anymore.
Yes. They haven't been a problem for me for a couple years now.
Mm-hmm.
But according to the New Jersey State Department of Agriculture, this insect invader could have devastating effects on farms and vineyards in the Garden State. But a researcher at Rutgers found that the invasive species has an enemy we didn't know about until today. Well, some of you didn't know about. Bats. More recently, we've discovered that they are eating the spotted lanternfly, said Erin McHale, a PhD candidate. As part of McHale's research study, she analyzes what bats are eating by studying their guano.
Ooh.
Yummy.
Yeah.
So the spotted lanternflies are turning up in the bat poop. And as it turns out, New Jersey residents can help the situation by installing a bat house. You just have to dig a big, deep bat cave in your backyard and let thousands of bats come so they can feast on your insects. I recall 4th of July, actually, coincidentally. 2020 it was. And my driveway was filled with the nymphs.
Everywhere.
Before they grow wings. They were everywhere. And you try to step on them, they hop away. They were very hard to kill. And I remember thinking back then, this might be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
But in the years since, fewer and fewer, and almost precipitously.
Yeah.
And I remember something my dad told me. He had a tree person come to his house. And the guy said, as soon as the animals, the birds, the beasts, recognize that they can eat these things, it won't be a problem anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think we're finally seeing that come to fruition.
Shocking, an ecosystem working like an Shocking.
Who would have thought that a psychotic, kind of like unpredictable bug would meet a psychotic, unpredictable mammal that could eat one, that eats one. It's fascinating nature, this whole thing. And the fact that a bat is doing this, that made me think, like, when this article came out, I was like, oh, where can I put my own bat house? And you look it up online. And it's, you look it up online, and it's like a birdhouse, but it's like shaped as if it's like you would hold a bat in there. And it's like, okay, that seems like a pretty good idea. But then I thought, well, then I'd have to put it in my backyard. Then I have to worry about rabies. Then I'd have to worry about all kinds of other things. And I'm like, not really sure I really want to do that. But yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
How do you make sure bats inhabit the house and not birds?
Right.
Or as in the case whenever we try to put up a birdhouse, wasps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean the flying insect kind, not the...
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's great. It's great that there is a natural solution to this problem, as opposed to us coming in and saying, "Hey, yeah, I love it."
A natural predator instead of having to worry about fumigating everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, people were tying like this weird tape to trees to try and catch them in their infantile phase. It's very bizarre.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we have it under control because those things are ugly and stupid.
Yeah.
Yes. Stupidity probably rivals the stink bug. Hits the ceiling. These things aren't much brighter than that.
There's always a purpose to creation, but this one I'm not quite sure what it was for, other than it looks somewhat pretty, I guess, because the circles are they're painted on and it's red underneath. It's like, oh, that's kind of interesting, but
I actually think it's kind of gross.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah.
When you step on it, there's red.
Ugh.
I used to see them when I go down to the office. You'd see dead ones lying on the sidewalk from back when they were still infested. I guess John doesn't have this problem down in Texas.
No,
They haven't reached there yet.
I guess not.
No, not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not.
How about that?
You just have invasive trees or something, I think. Or what was it? You,
Snakes do. Man.
Oh, the snakes? Yeah, okay. That would scare the hell out of me, those snakes, man. I don't know. I would be a little bit
Oh yeah,
worried about that. Yeah, talk about unpredictable.
but you're cool with
I'll go back
bats.
to PA if I see one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're cool with
bats.
bats.
Yeah.
But that's not,
Things
I
that
don't-
fly, I have no problem with. Things with legs that don't bother me. Things with wings don't bother me. If you're
No.
lacking both of them, I'm worried.
Yeah.
John just doesn't comprehend the belly.
Something with
movement.
wings and legs don't even bother me.
Oh, it's funny.
Well, we used to see bats when we play hockey out in the parking lot.
Yeah, we did.
You'd be by the light pole. You'd throw a glove up. They'd come swooping by,
Yeah.
thinking it was something to eat, and realizing it stank.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at least they figured out that lanternflies are sweet enough to eat.
There you go.
Thank God to the bats, because I wouldn't have to deal with
good
those
job.
things.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job.
Yeah, taking care of the Joker, taking care of the jokers that are out there in the insect world. You gotta love it.
Look at Matt throwing puns out there like the narcissist Lex Luger that he is.
3.
I think we hit the over now.
Yeah, there we go.
But you never know. Another one might pop up.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're in topic 4, the MLB All-Star game. Got my acronyms confused there.
There you go.
The MLB All-Star game is coming up soon.
Mhm.
Do you have an exact date on that?
I think it's July.
It's mid-July.
Yeah, it's definitely mid-July. I want to say it's like, sounds like the 15th, 14th,
It's after this episode drops.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I didn't want this to be an exercise in futility. We are going to be drafting all-star teams from the last 25 years.
You're
Now-
absolutely correct. It is the 15th.
I'll look at
Tuesday
that.
the 15th.
There you go. Very good.
Nice.
Now, John skipped out on pre-production this week, and Matt decided he wanted to punish John in this draft by awarding him the first overall pick. I don't understand how that serves as punishment, but that is how we are going to proceed. Matt, I turn it over to you to explain what we're doing here and how it's going to be.
Yeah, so it's like a fantasy draft. So you basically can choose any of the All-Stars that have appeared in an All-Star game from 2000 all the way up until 2024. So I
Oh,
guess,
wait, they have to have appeared in an all-star game?
Well, yeah, if they're named
I
as an
find that
All-Star.
bullshit.
I don't know. Whatever. Named as
I was
an
just going to
All-Star.
pick really good players.
Well, I'm pretty sure during the last 25 years of Major League Baseball that a good player made it to an All-Star.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. So we're basically going to be having a starting pitcher, and then of course the infield positions, the outfield positions, catcher, DH, and then 2 additional pitchers, which you could either put as starters or relievers, your choice, as 2 wild, I guess you could say wild cards, to round out what we think would be our best All-Star roster, basically over the last 25
And this is
years.
2000 to 2025, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yep,
Okay.
that's correct. Yep.
No fan voting.
No fan voting. This is strictly on us individually. So, John, we'll lead off with you, bud. Who would you pick and go from there, I guess?
I'm going to clog my designated hitter up real quick with my favorite player of all time, Miguel Cabrera.
Ah,
I love that guy.
can't disagree. Can't disagree.
He's my favorite baseball player of all time.
There you go.
I'm just going to take him and get him out of the way.
Well, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to have to steal your boy, Jimmy Rollins, as shortstop.
Okay.
There you go. Steve, what do you
Son
think?
of- All right. Well, I get 2 picks here, right?
You do. Yep.
You do?
3 and 4.
You do?
Yep.
All right. I want you to put as my first baseman Albert Pujols.
Ooh,
There you go.
nice selection.
Over 700 home runs.
There you go. Yep. Okay.
And then, since you already took Rollins, I guess I will take Derek Jeter. at short.
Ooh, Derek Jeter. Interesting. Okay. So center fielder, he's one of my all-time favorites, and generational talent, although he has been hurt the last few years. Mike Trout would be my shortstop, or center fielder, I should say. John, back-to-back picks for you.
To take my right field as Bryce Harper.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
And then I'm going to turn around and
What do you think?
take my shortstop to be Francisco Lindor.
Oh,
Boo,
man.
Mets, boo.
Wow.
I know, but you
Boo.
can't boo it. You literally can't boo him.
Wow.
I
He's
can
so
boo
good.
whoever I
He's
want.
so good.
Well, I mean,
Really,
yeah.
really great giving him the first overall pick, man. It was brilliant, brilliant punishment. Look at his team so far.
Yeah. He's
He
got a
should've been-
mix.
He should have been docked his first round pick like they did to like the Ottawa Senators. you know?
That's
I'm
true.
sorry, I had to work. Jesus. Skipped out on you guys.
This was his idea for punishment. you
Well,
know?
I thought, well, because of the wrap-around, I thought, well, he's got to wait a little bit, but I guess you have to wait a little
Yeah,
bit
that really
longer.
cost
That
him.
did really cost me, yeah. Speaking of
It's
really...
like Matt knows I watch nothing but baseball for like 6 months out of the year. Oh, Cleveland's playing.
Yeah, might as well just put him in there.
He should have had to wait until you and I had completed our drafts to draft his team. That's
Yeah,
how it should
exactly.
work.
Roy Halladay will be my starting pitcher.
Of course he
Of
is.
course he is. Yeah.
Of course.
Steve?
All right. Let me go right field with Ichiro.
There you go.
Ooh.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great
Okay. And what are you
And I'm
thinking?
I'm gonna plug my starting pitcher. I'm gonna go with Max Scherzer.
There you go.
Wow.
That's a huge one.
Scherzer. There we go. Nice. All right. So, I guess I'll go Chase Utley. What the hell? In the second base. We'll make it a
Look
Philly
at Matt being
infield.
a homer.
A little bit of a homer
He's
there.
got 3 Phillies
Especially-
and a guy who should be a Philly. Like,
Especially,
Hey!
especially after 2000.
Yeah. All right, John. Who else you got? What do you got here?
I'm looking for. I gotta do this little first baseman. I don't have one.
I'm not gonna help you either.
No, there's no, you don't need that. Let me ask.
We should have made it illegal to consult
ChatGPT.
It's just giving me.
He gets Rico Bronya. That's the end of it. I don't even think he was post 2000.
There you go. Yeah. I have a good idea who's my first baseman. It's not Ryan Howard.
Well, thank God. I think the 2000. I think I need to go left field with Andrew McCutcheon.
Oh, nicely done.
Didn't he play center field mostly?
He
during
played
his good
center
days,
for
though?
most.
But you're
you can
putting
put
him in
center
left.
if if you
Yeah.
want to put him in center, you can.
Okay.
Okay.
If that's but I think 2000. Most of his career was then, and he was pretty damn good at either.
There you go. Okay.
So if you want to put him at center,
Put him
that's
in center? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
I
move
can
him
do
down.
that.
Yeah, we can do it that way.
He won his MVP at center field.
Yeah.
so
Nice.
I'll bring it up.
Okay.
That's
And,
fine. Well, I got to take Bryce at right field.
Yeah. And who do you have on the wraparound there, Johnny? Take a sip of beer.
To fix my outfield.
Hmm.
I already got my right fielder. That sucks. So I can't put him.
There's still good some names on this list that I have that's like still open. Non-Phillies, by the way.
Yeah.
Starting pitcher, first, second, third base, left field, catcher, and 2 additional pitchers.
Let me take Poppy at first base because he did play first base. Big Poppy.
Did he play first base? Really?
I think he did. Yeah.
He did, and then moved to DH. But
Yeah.
since, I'll put him at first base. And actually, you could also flip-flop Miguel Cabrera because he also played first base as well. The first baseman I had
Miguel also played third too.
Oh, there you go. First baseman I had in mind was Freddie Freeman.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's first base there. All right, Steve, you're back to back. What do you got?
All right. Let's see. What do I got? Second base, third base.
Second base, third base, left and center field, catcher, and DH, and 2 pitchers.
Catcher, give me Buster Posey.
Oh, nice selection. I was looking at him. You poser.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Bastard.
Only a narcissist Lex Luger would come up with an idea like that.
Yeah, of course. 4. Yeah.
How's
We're
your
officially
phone
on the
doing?
over now. Go on.
Good. And then give me third base. I'm gonna go. Let me just confirm this.
You're right.
Doing research here. Come on.
Come on.
There we go.
Who you got?
I'm gonna go Adrian Beltre at third base.
There you go. One of my favorite of all time. Texas Ranger.
There you go. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna go for my catcher. Yadier Molina.
Okay. Yachty, one of the best.
One of the best catchers. Yeah. Yep. All right.
Is he still playing catcher?
He retired. He's officially done.
Who's the other guy who was a big catcher, but now I don't think he plays catcher anymore?
There's a few of them.
I would say one of them has to be Salvador Perez at Kansas City. I know he's been catching for years, but yeah.
There was somebody who I thought was like an all-star catcher, but he eventually had to move out of the position because it's a little hard on the knees, that one.
All right, Johnny, what else you got?
I'll go second base. I'll go Robinson Cano.
Oh, wow. That's a name from the past. Yeah.
Very good in the 2000s.
Wow, look at that spelling. Cano, Cannon, or Kane as replacements.
And then I'll go third base. I'm going Philly's favorite that never was his favorite, Scott Rowland.
Scott Rowland.
Playing my third base.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
He was good with the Cardinals. Yeah, he was good with the Cardinals then.
So this one might be a little bit. No, it's not a stretch. Are you kidding me? Right fielder, Vladimir Guerrero.
Oh.
Yeah. Big Vlad. If I can spell his name, that would be great. There we go. Vladimir Guerrero. Yeah. The father, not the son. Although the son's a pretty good player, too. Steve. Second base, left field, center field, DH, and 2 pitchers of your choosing.
Check one thing first. Make sure this guy actually played post 2000. I'm pretty sure he did. I just can't remember when he retired. Okay. I'm gonna fill a pitching slot with Mariano Rivera.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Nicely done. Okay, and the wraparound for you?
No, I'm going to fill designated hitter.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Manny being Manny.
Nice.
Manny Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez.
Nice. as your DH. I
Because
love
I
it.
don't want him anywhere near the field.
Hell
Batting only.
I
Batting
love
only.
it. I love it. All right, a little bit of a. Let's see. Hold on. Oh yeah. Atlanta Brave. Gonna go Chipper Jones as my third baseman.
Oh,
Gonna go Chipper.
Larry.
Yeah, I'm gonna
There
go
you go.
Larry. Yeah, Johnny. Back to back for you. What do you got here?
Back to back, I'm gonna go with catcher Joe Mauer
Nice. Very good selection there. Yep.
and left fielder Matt Holliday.
Ooh, there you go.
Mm.
He was one of my all-time
Because
favorite
I'm putting
Cardinals.
a baseball team together.
Holiday was a left fielder?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, I
Why
believe
did I think
was.
he was a third baseman?
No, he's on the left fielder list. He's right below Manny Ramirez.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, left fielder. Let's see, left field DH. Wow, I got a lot going on here. I can't take Scherzer, so I already took him. Cheated. You know what? He does play the outfield, but on the opposite side. But I'm going to take him anyway. Mookie Betts in left field.
Sounds like cheating to me.
Guess what, Mookie? You're playing left field. There you go. Steve,
It's a
two
big
for you.
difference from right field, though.
It's a huge difference from right
Just a
field.
little bit. Yeah.
Right
So-
field is where you stuck the kids who can't play. But that's because most kids in Little League bat right-handed and can't hit it to the opposite field. So
That's right.
That's why you put them there.
That's why you put him there.
Exactly,
that's right.
Because they'll never have to field a ball.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Steve.
right. Give me center field. Go Torrey Hunter.
Hell of a pick.
Yeah. Great,
That's
great
That's
selection.
an outfielder right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I always thought,
yeah.
boy, he would be great in the outfield of the Phillies. I mean, he would have been unbelievable out
There
there.
were rumors of him coming in
Mhm.
that like 20 or 2007 to 2011, and it was
Mhm.
like, just get the guy already.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I don't even care if he's on the downside of his career.
Exactly.
He'll help.
Yeah.
Second base. I guess I'll go with Dustin Pedroia
Oh.
There you go.
with the Red Sox.
Hell of a player.
Pedroia.
Big fan.
Pretty close. There we go. All right.
That's
so-
taking Ben Revere.
Designated hitter. Ben
Revere.
Bat
Exactly.
300 with singles.
He put the ball in play.
The only thing I liked about Ben Revere was on the video game because he was fast and he could bunt.
Exactly.
There's nothing to do with actual reality.
This was surprising. He was on the downside, I guess you could say, of his illustrious career. Ken Griffey Jr. And yes, he was an All-Star in the 2000s.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You can swing it back.
Was he?
2000, 2004, and 2007.
Huh.
So Ken
He played that long. Huh?
he did. He
Yeah.
played from 1989 to 2010.
Yeah.
Huh.
Makes sense.
Yep. Now the 90s he was all over the place, but it wasn't like 2000s. He first year in Cincinnati he was in it, and then 2004 he was an All-Star, and then 2007, like I said, but probably on the bench more than likely, not like the 90s. But he is my designated hitter because he has the greatest swing in history of the world right there. My humble opinion. All right, Johnny, you're on the pitchers now.
Yes.
What do you
I'm
got?
Taking for my starter, I'm taking Clayton Kershaw.
Okay.
Sugar.
I know, but he was good for those like 2 years.
Yep.
That I would be using him.
All right, and on the wrap?
And I'm gonna do a closer in Trevor Hoffman.
Oh, nicely done. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I'll do
It's a
a.
shame we're not doing the 90s. I'd take Jack Morris.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
he's got to be like your
Big
all-time
burly,
favorite.
Nice.
He's got to be your all-time favorite pitcher. I think
He
Steve.
pitched 10 innings in Game 7. A shutout. Come on.
1-0
How do
against
you not-
against Smoltz. Yeah, just crazy. Before he lost his mind, he was one of the best closers. Craig Kimball, for me. Okay. So I'm going to put him as a reliever. Steve, you have left field and a pitcher to end.
All right, left field. I'm gonna go with Ryan Braun.
Oh wow!
The Milwaukee Brewers.
Is that before or after he got popped? I don't know. Okay, it was before he was popped. That's right. He was really good. And then,
yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. And your final pitcher?
Yeah, I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a closer. So
And you have a starter.
Starter.
You can take a second starter.
You could,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking Adam Wainwright.
Oh.
No, I'm not doing it.
Oh, you're not doing it. Oh,
No,
falsy.
I'm gonna get weird with this one.
Falsy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going Tim Lincecum.
There you go.
Nice.
What a pitch. What a wind up.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, he needed it because he was like 5'2", so
I
he
know,
needed to
I
get
know,
all the
yeah.
power he could behind that.
Yeah.
And somehow he got 100 miles an hour.
This
I
one,
know, right?
This one I had great respect for, even though he was in Seattle and didn't see him all that much. Felix Hernandez.
There you go.
For me, thought he did a great job out there in Seattle. John, to close it out, what do you got?
I'm just going with a memory pick. I'm going with 08 Cole Hamels.
Oh, nice.
Just because I love that guy.
Yeah, there you
He
go.
deserves. Hell of a human, too.
Yeah. So there's our rosters, guys. So you have John with Kershaw, Ortiz, Cano, Lindor, Roland, Holiday, McCutchen, Harper, Mauer, Cabrera, Hoffman, and Hamels. That's a pretty good roster. I go a little too Philly, I think. Halladay, Freeman, Utley, Rollins, Chipper Jones, Mookie, Mike Trout, Vladimir, and then Yadier, Ken Griffey, and the tail end of his career, of course, Craig Kimball and Phoenix Hernandez, and then Steve with, I think, a really good roster here. Scherzer, the pitch, Pujols at first base, who was a monster back then in the early 2000s, absolute monster. Pedroia at second, Jeter at short, Beltre at third, also a great player. Outfielder of Braun, Hunter, and Suzuki, Ichiro, and then Buster Posey as his catcher with Manny as his DH. Greatest closer of all time in Mario, and Lincecum, Tim Lincecum, to round it out.
He's just gonna mess with you with that delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of movement.
Right.
So there you go.
All right. Well, my roster wins because it is the least pandering to the Philadelphia fan base. That's the automatic qualification.
Love it.
I took 2 Philly players that are really fucking good at their
But you also took Scott Rowland.
Yeah.
You know,
But
Andrew
was not on
McCutchen.
he was not on the Phillies at that time when they were as great.
That's
in the
very true.
2000s.
Yeah.
That's true. However, he is
Yep.
a former Philly, as is Andrew McCutchen.
Yep.
Yeah, you know. All right. Well, that completes topic 4 for the week. And it completes episode 248 for the week. We will be back next week with 249 more pandering and nonsense from this trio of.
Philadelphia fans. Why not?
There you go. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Pandering at an all-time high. All right. We'll see you next week. But until then, just get out.